right, so the homework was on page 70. 84 says the mean and median selling prices of existing single-family homes in November 2009 were $216,400 and $172,600. So I've got $216,400, and I've got $172,600. This problem gave you almost no other information other than that, but it is asking you between what and what? Mean and median. Especially after coming straight off of the notes yesterday and us talking about mean versus median, you basically have to decide what the what is to know which one's higher and which one's lower. What the shape is. So these are single family homes. The year doesn't really matter. So single family homes. What do you think is going to happen with that distribution?
Right skew.
Why?
Because there's less very expensive homes. Like the more expensive you get, the less likely they are to exist. And there's like a lot more cheaper homes.
So am I going to have a single family home for $0? No, like there's a cost in building it that, I mean, you can be on the low end, and yes, some of them are going to be a little lower than others. But are there a lot of houses that are going to be similar? Yeah. Are they going to be closer to the low end or closer to the really, really, really high end? Are you going to have some $1 million single family homes? Yes. So you're going to have a whole bunch down here, maybe some like that. You're going to have a whole bunch that are similar. Sorry, I'm trying to use my mouse. And then you're going to have like some homes up here that are really expensive. You're going to have a couple more. So it's going to end up looking like that. And that did not give you much context, but that should not be too far outside of what I would expect you to do. So because it is right skewed, which one? I'm just going to draw two lines because I know one's higher than the other one. So this one right here that's not farther down there is going to be the what? So, I did these separate. So my median is this one. My mean is going to be my higher one because your mean gets pulled towards the skew. Or you want to think about like that balancing point. My finger would have to be slid more towards those expensive homes to be able to balance. 80, well, I just did 84 through 86, right? 85, suppose a Major League Baseball team's mean salary for its players is $1.2 million and the team has 25 players on its active roster. What is the team's total annual payroll? What all do you do for this problem? This should be easy, but I'm writing it out because I want you to see it a certain way. We're dealing with mean. What's my equation for mean? How do I add them all of my x's, and then do what with them? So for this problem, does it give me this? Yes. Does it give me this? No, that's what it wants you to find. Does it give me this? Yeah. So it's literally asking undo that equation to get my answer. So you just do what? 1.2 times 25. 1.2 times 25, it's that many million as your answer. Could you, if you only knew the median, could you do this? No, it does not work that way with median. So basically you can't undo it with median because it's not distributed equally among the different ones. 86. Last year, a small accounting firm paid each of its 5 clerks $22,000, 2 junior accountants $50,000, and the firm's owner $270,000. So if I were to write this down, I would just write down 22. How many 22s were there? And then you just take that and essentially plug it in a list and figure out your information. What does the mean end up being? 60,000. How many of the employees earn less than the mean? Should be 7, right? Because only one person doesn't. What is the median salary? 22,000. So this is a type of question you would get asked if, and I'm not asking it the way that the problem's asking it. Which is a better description of the data for center? The mean or the median for this one? Median. Median is a better description. But if you were someone trying to get someone to come work for you, you would say the mean of our workers is $60,000 because it makes it look better. Most people don't understand statistics and don't understand the way that you will be able to, and even to the point you do right now, and would think, oh, that sounds great, I want to work there. But what is the reason why mean is not a good description of this data? Because there's one outlier and mean is affected by outliers. Questions with that? That should have been a really quick bookwork. I really didn't need to take that long going over it, but I wanted to cover a couple different things. Okay. So your other problem, this should be what your graph looks like, unless you just split stem. If you just split stem, that is absolutely fine. Do you have questions about the graph itself? If I were doing a problem like this from now on, I would probably type both lists in my calculator, let the calculator find out all the information for me, now that we know how to do that. And usually I'll come down here and write some stuff down. So what is my, I'm not going to write all these down. What is my median for actors? Hopefully I wrote this because I did center. 37. What is my median for actresses?
Yours are a bit messed up.
Okay, no, 43 is the median, sorry.
I don't think actors has any in the 20s.
Oh, I have a different problem than y'all do.
No, they're
Actually,
just like
no.
they need to all be moved down one column on the actor side.
Oh, I was moving stuff earlier and they got disconnected. That.
And then beside the 7 on the actress's side, we think it's 4.
This one's 4?
Yeah. Are you recording? Right. Sure.
Yes, thank you. Let me talk about in general, now that I finally shifted it. What does that, without anything relating to our class, what does it mean about actors' age winning Oscar versus actresses?
They're usually older.
Actors tend to win Oscars when they get older, whereas actresses tend to only win them when they're younger. Which is, I thought that was very interesting to see that. Like, that's kind of a very stereotypical thing. Is I could get into the detail, but I mean, y'all get the picture of what's going on there. That's very interesting to see that. I mean, that's very, very clear that there's a big difference there between the men and the women. What I want you to do right now is find someone else beside of you, behind you, near you, close to you, and hand them your homework and take theirs.
Sorry.
Now, I don't care where this is, whether if they have room on their paper, if you're on a scratch sheet, I don't care. We're gonna do a checklist. What are the things that I said should be included in your checklist? What are some things that should be included in your checklist? Vocab.
Vocab, interpret, context, compare words. Numbers.
Were there outliers? I just don't remember.
I don't think so.
So, outliers, numbers, is going to be kind of iffy. It's going to be like no low, no high.
Were we able to find them with the math?
I gave you all the numbers, so you should be able to calculate. That's what I'm counting as numbers here. What would be counting as your numbers for shape? You should have included something about like where it peaks or where it does something, and you should include numbers in there somewhere. If you have colors, like I've been doing it, and you want to go through theirs in colors, it would be helpful to do that. I mean, I'm not going to waste time to get out colors though, and if y'all are sitting here doing a pencil, it's either circled or not, and that doesn't look very helpful. So if you have colors to go through it, like these being different colors, that is probably the most helpful. But I at least want you to go through and read theirs and either check off the box or leave it empty. So I told you to kind of mentally have this in your head, but now I want you to really go through it and somebody actually see, did you include those things or did you not? So you're checking for somebody else. For each of socks, did they actually include those things or not?
What would vocabulary unimodal?
Yeah, unimodal, the word median, the word range, that kind of thing. And I want y'all to ask questions like that, like what are vocab words? Like I expect this to be kind of interactive. And now I kind of want you blindly doing this, like you're not necessarily reading theirs. Like I'm not worried about the grading of the reading right now, but you're reading someone else's. Actually read it because it might kind of help you think about, I like the way they said this. That's what I meant to say, but I didn't think about saying it that way. And if you come across stuff where it's like something very obvious is missing, like write it off to the side. Like you didn't do this, like stuff like that is very helpful. While is not a compare word. I get that a lot. Both is. Similar, higher, lower. And throughout the year, we'll do a lot of this kind of peer grading. Being nice only doesn't help their grade. So you have to look at it from the perspective of critique to help their grade. Don't critique to not hurt their feelings.
What's interpretive?
Say that again.
What's interpretive?
Like if you say, when you say median, you'd say half above, half below. Like you conveying what that word means. Now, I expect you to still be reading, or some of you to still be reading, but if you are checking every box, does that mean they will get a good grade on that section? Wait, does that guarantee a good grade that everything's right? I'm not asking you to check anything about content right now. But if you don't check the boxes, can they get a good grade? No. So we're making sure that the bulk has to be there first before we're checking how good that bulk is. Even if you're not done, stop just a second so I can have a conversation about whatever one section, and then I'll let you finish, because then you'll have time where people need more time, which would be good. Let's say for spread. Raise your hand if, like you specifically, not that you're grading. Raise your hand if you use IQR as your spread. Raise your hand if you did standard deviation. Raise your hand if you did range. Should we have done range? Because what is more descriptive than range? IQR. So that's the first thing. Now, range is a measure of spread, but it's not the most descriptive now that we know other ones to do. So try to deter from range from now on. So let's talk about interquartile range. Talk about as quick as I can. What was the IQR for actors? What was IQR? I don't, honestly, at this point, I just care that you give me a number more than anything. What? What was it for actresses? So I would say my vocab would be saying IQR. My interpret, how do you interpret IQR? The middle 50% is what? Is within. So the middle 50% of actors are all within 15 years of each other, which is higher than the IQR for actresses who are within, the middle 50% is within 11 years of each other. What does that mean overall? That the middle 50% of women, for women, so because this goes back to what we talked about at the beginning, it kind of looks like they only like them when they're younger. There is less variability in the ages that receiving the actresses awards. This combined with center shows us that the older you get, the less like you are. But do you see where your boxes would be checked off with me just saying that one sentence? So I could have said one long sentence and gotten away with that. You've only got 2 more minutes. Try to finish somebody's up, or at least give them a little bit of heads up. Your homework.